How's it going, everybody? This is Rich from R&R Survival First Response Solutions, True Budget EDC, and 11th Hour Preppers. So, I want to come on here for the next few videos. I just did one yesterday, and I want to do this one right now, and just do some, just go over some medical stuff that people should be carrying in case something happens, because you never know when you're going to be the first responder. You might be, at a scene or driving past a scene, and somebody might need help, and you might be that person. So it's good for you to have some things on you in your vehicle, basically, that you can use to help save people. And today I'm going to go over trauma kits. Yesterday I went over compression bandages, but I want to go over trauma kits because a lot of people think that boo-boo kits are trauma kits, and they're not. Boo-boo kits are just, your basic first aid, just Band-Aids and, stuff like that. And you don't want to get caught in a traumatic bleeding event and, hey, guess what? I got some Band-Aids and a piece of gauze. It's not going to work. So there's some things you should put in a trauma kit and you should have with you in case, like I said, you might even have to use it on yourself. You never know. Use it on somebody in your family, somebody you don't even know. If you're going past a scene, something happens. Car could flip over and you could be the first person that stops. You know what I mean? So it's always good to be prepared. And if nothing happens, hey, guess what? Nothing happens, but you're ready for something to happen. So it's always good to be proactive instead of reactive, because you don't want to get to a scene or something happens and you don't know what to do. So it's good to, take first aid classes if you can, take a stop to bleed class, take a CPR class, something like that. Just do it so that way you have it, and hopefully, you know what, you never have to use it. 80% of the people who take first aid classes never have to use them, but they have that knowledge, and that's not a bad thing. So let's go over trauma kit. Now, I have some stuff here, so this might be a little bit longer of a video, but there's a lot of stuff you can carry in your trauma kit. It's pretty much endless, like I said. You can go online to eBay, you can get medical supplies, you can go on to North American Rescue, you can go on to rescueessentials.com. Rescue Essentials is just cool because it's an all-stop shop. Like, everything's in that one place, so you could check that out. They got all different kinds of companies, all kinds of brands, all kinds of stuff. So check out rescueessentials.com, and I do not work for them. I just use them a lot, so they're pretty awesome. And I don't so much as carry an IFAK, because there's, these acronyms. IFAK means individual first aid kit, which would be for yourself, right? That's an individual first aid kit for me. I don't carry a kit like that. I carry more of a ITR kit, which is an individual trauma response kit, which would be for anybody, because I'm a first responder, right? I'm trying to help other people too. So with that being said, I think it's good to have a kit that's, for whoever, not just for yourself. You can use it on yourself. Obviously, it's a trauma response kit, but it's good to have it for other people too. So let's just go over some of the things that you should probably put in a trauma kit. So one of the first things you should have is a pair of trauma shears, right? Trauma shears are awesome. They can cut through all kinds of different materials, whether it be jeans material, denim, leather, boots, everything, seat belts, all of that stuff. So the pair that I use, that I carry around, whether it be in facility, because I'm doing nurse technician stuff, or outside, or on fire call, or whatever, is these are X shears. X shears are super heavy duty. They are strong. They have this deadbolt, this really super strong bolt in the middle, so that it doesn't shear off and break. They come in a variety of different colors. There's all kinds. I got orange, there's green, there's pink, there's blue, there's yellow, there's all kinds of stuff. They're rubbery, and they're easy to hold on to. I've cut through jeans with this, no problems, and then turned around and cut out little hearts with my daughter out of construction paper. So they're pretty awesome. These cost about 40 bucks. Now, with that being said, if I were you, I would not buy Leathermans. Leathermans are overpriced garbage. The Raptors, they're junk. I know so many people on the job, EMS, whatever, law enforcement people, that have Raptors that just rust for absolutely no reason. They're just straight garbage. And that's the truth. There's a lot of bells and whistles on those that you don't need. Like, hey, guess what? Leatherman Raptors have a seatbelt cutter. But hey, guess what? This is a pair of trauma shears. You can cut seatbelts with this. Like, you know what I mean? So it's more of a tactical thing. But like, seriously, they're junk. They rust. Don't do it. These cost about 40 bucks. They're well worth it. You can beat the hell out of them and they won't fall apart. Or you can just buy a pair of trauma shears that cost 5 bucks, and these work fine too. So there's no need to have a pair of $100 trauma shears, honestly. If you're going to just put these in a go bag or a get home bag or a EDC bag, seriously, you don't need a pair of $100 trauma shears. You can get a pair of trauma shears that cost 5 bucks. Actually, you can get like 2 for $5, to be honest with you. So, and these work fine. I know plenty of people that use these. We have those in the facility. So if I ask an RN for a pair of shears at work, if I don't have mine, they give me a pair just like this. So check them out. These are on eBay. You can get these anywhere too. So, and X shears, you can get them on their site, xshears.com, I think, and they're, like I said, like 40 bucks. Also, you can get them on eBay, Amazon, all of that stuff. So these are solid, but these are good too. So check these out or those out, either way. So that's one thing you should have, trauma shears, so in case you got to cut off somebody's clothing, right? Another thing, for pneumothorax, tension pneumothorax, penetrating chest wounds, sucking chest wounds, you want to get chest seals, and you want to get 2 of them, because you got to cover entry wound and exit wound. So something happens, somebody gets shot, somebody gets stabbed, man, somebody could roll down a hill and get stabbed by a tree, anything could happen, right? So you want to get something that can cover that up so you don't get a tension pneumothorax, air gets in the pleural space, and then all kinds of bad stuff happens, and you know, whatever. Tension pneumothorax is not good. Regular pneumothorax is just a collapsed lung, and you can put this over there to create air from getting in, where this one is vented so air can get out, but it can't get in. So this is an NAR vented chest seal twin pack. So you can get these too. This is like 20 bucks. I think I got this on RescueEssentials.com. So you want to get this, something like this. If you don't have a lot of money to get the actual name brand chest seals, you can buy petroleum gauze. So buy 2 of those, and you can put one on the front, one on the back. And if you want to vent them, you can use tape on the corners, like tack tape, medical tape, yeah, that'll vent it for you. So check out the vented chest seals, or just regular chest seals, or petroleum gauze. NAR, this is what these are. This is North American Rescue, but I also have a wound seal kit, which is by H&H Medical. Now, this is also a chest seal, but you can use it over wounds too, supposedly. Like if somebody's bleeding, you can stick it over the wound. It does have gel on one side. So yeah, this is cool too, and this is about the same price as this. And this is basically an H&H Medical wound seal kit, and this is a North American Rescue hyphen vent. So check those out if you want to get something for pneumothorax and to prevent tension pneumothorax. So you should have these in your kit for sure, because you never know what's going to happen. Also, airway management. You want to have something to open a patent airway. If somebody's choking or unresponsive and they're not breathing, no respirations, you want to have something that you can use to open their airway. So there's OPAs, right? OPAs go in the mouth, and that'll keep their airway open. However, if the person is, you know, responsive enough to have a gag reflex, this will make them puke, and then you'll have that problem. So if the person has no gag reflex, OPAs are a great way to go for opening someone's airway. If they do have a gag reflex, you might want to go with an MPA, which goes up the nose, but then you'll need a lube as well. It comes with a lube. And it goes up the nose, down the throat, and that'll keep their airway open. It's also called a trumpet. So, I mean, I have both OPA and MPA. They're both easy enough to use. I mean, you put this one in the mouth, turn it. This one goes in the nose with the bevel towards the midline, and then it goes back. They're super easy to use, but again, you can find out how to use them online or at your first aid class if you take it. So these are 2 ways to maintain an airway. That's definitely something you're going to have in your kit in case something happens. You never know. So OPAs or an MPA. I would take it an MPA, because then you don't have to worry about a gag reflex for sure. You know what I mean? You got this, and it's easy to put in. So check that out. So we got trauma shears. We got an OPA, an NPA for airway management. We got some chest seals for pneumothorax and tension pneumothorax. Now, you're going to need bleeding control, because that's a big thing. Tons of people die from traumatic bleeding, right? So it's basically kind of a lot of what first aid kits are about, what trauma kits are about, what first aid classes are about. It's all about stopping bleeding. There are other things, like I said here, that you should have, but bleeding is a big thing. So, one, this is a huge bandage, right? This is a compression bandage. I spoke about these the other day. This is a blast bandage by Tactical Medical. And it's just a giant compression bandage, seriously, with a big OBD pad, or ABD pad. Yeah, it's made by TacMed Solutions, and it's for coverage of like an amputation. Like, so something happens that's horrific, a very seriously traumatic event, like somebody gets their leg blown off, or they're in an accident and their arm gets cut off or something. You put this over the stump, and it would work as a compression bandage until they can get somewhere in hospital. So pre-hospital setting, this is for a large wound or an amputation. So blast bandage by TacMed Solutions. So I just have this, like, hopefully I never could encounter that, but if in case, you know, you do, this is a good thing to have. Also on rescueessentials.com. So there's that. I went over Israeli bandages yesterday, actually. So this is a 6-inch Israeli bandage, and this is a 4-inch Israeli bandage. So these are two compression bandages, and this is also a compression bandages. So these are, you know, basically put over the wound, and there's a cleat in these, and the cleat basically applies direct pressure when you go, you know, through the cleat, pull back, and that'll hopefully stop the bleeding. So compression bandages are great. So this is a 4-inch Israeli and a 6-inch Israeli. Then you have the blast bandage, which is also a large compression bandage. But there's also the Idf Pads. These are trauma pads by the Israeli Defense Force. They make these, and this just says Israeli bandage on it. This is the one without the cleat. It's basically a 4x4 ABD pad with some gauze coming out of it, and you can put it over the wound, and you can use the gauze to tie it. So that's cool too. These aren't very expensive either, so you get a bunch of these for like $5-10 bucks. I think they're like $4 a piece or even less, and you can have these, and they're vacuum sealed, and this is supposed to be good till like 2030 or longer. So like I was talking about yesterday, I'm not really sure about how vacuum sealed things go bad, but whatever. It's up to you if you want to keep them in date or not. I don't think it's gonna really matter much if it's vacuum sealed and irradiated. But this is the Israeli bandage, actually an Israeli trauma pad. These are cool for stopping bleeding as well, in conjunction with the trauma pads. Also, another pressure bandage or compression bandage is the Dyna Stopper. I actually vacuum sealed this because I didn't like the packaging. So the Dyna Stopper is basically 2 pieces of gauze, or 2 roll gauze and a pad. The one roll gauze is attached to the pad, so you can put the pad over the wound and wrap it around, right? Creates compression, stops the bleeding. The extra gauze is for if you need more compression, you put it over the top of it, wrap it around some more, creates more compression, hopefully stops the bleeding. Dyna Stoppers, $6. These are awesome, secondary to have. So, you know, you got all this bleeding control. You have the compression bandages, the Israeli bandages, you have the blast bandages, you have the trauma pad. You have this. This is just an extra added thing to have in case something happens. So these are more cost effective. These Israeli bandages are like $10 bucks, and I have gotten them for cheaper than that, but this is only $6. So these are awesome. You find them on eBay or Rescue Essentials, I believe. I think I got this on eBay. So those are awesome. Now let's get into some gauze, right? You're going to need gauze in case you have to pack a wound. So H&H Medical makes compressed gauze. This is 4 yards of gauze. So 4.5 by 4.1 yards of stretched 6-ply cotton white gauze. So it's a lot of gauze, right? Somebody has a puncture wound, some kind of a cut, it won't stop bleeding, pack the wound. Basically stick it in there. Keep sticking it in there, keep sticking it in there. Stick it in there until no more goes in or whatever. Or the bleeding stops. If it doesn't stop, you can stick this stuff in there and then cover it with a compression bandage, and hopefully it stops. So compressed gauze is a good thing to have around in case you have to pack a wound. It's pretty simple. It's not cost a lot. You get like 2 for $5 or something like that, and you can go with it from there. And yeah, these are awesome to have. They don't take up any space. They're really cool, and they're super cheap. So gotta have some compressed gauze. Just an added bonus for, you know what I mean, stopping bleeding. So that's that. Now, Ems Gauze is a quick clot gauze. So it's for temporary external use to control traumatic bleeding. It has kaolin in it. It has a hemorrhagic agent, so it'll actually help it stop bleeding faster. So this is awesome. So this is not as expensive as combat gauze, right? So combat gauze and other quick clot stuff is like $45 a roll. This is like $20. Actually, it's like $14 on Rescue Essentials, but because of shipping and everything, it comes to like $20. But this is awesome. It's just rolled gauze. It basically tells you what you got to do on the back. It's got the instructions, but you can use it to pack wounds. You can use it to put over the wound. It has that kaolin in it, so it's got the hemorrhagic agent. So it's got basically the same thing in this is what's in combat gauze for half the price. So you could check out the Ems Gauze. So that's super awesome, quick clot stuff. Check it out. It's always good to have, you know, like the hemorrhagic agent, and just in case. So, you know what I mean? I have this in my bag downstairs. I have this in the bag. I have other tack gauze in there. So, you know what? In case you got to pack a wound, or even if you don't have to pack a wound, whatever, you got it. Just use it. You know what I mean? This will stop bleeding faster. So, Ems Gauze, RescueEssential.com. H&H Medical compressed gauze, you can get it everywhere, but Rescue Essentials has it as well as eBay. So, that's cool. Also, now what else do you need? You need to have some kind of a tourniquet, right? I carry a soft T for my personal tourniquet. This is vacuum sealed. It's not sterile, but I put it on there so it doesn't get dirty. So, soft TW, Special Operations Forces Tactical Tourniquet Wide, and Gen 4. So this is a windless tourniquet. It's got a metal windlass. It's got a clip. So, you know, it's like a cat. You basically put your arm in there, pull it tight, wind it down, and it occludes blood flow quickly. When I was doing my first responder class, we actually tested with windless tourniquets with cats, and they hurt. Like, seriously, I had it on so tight that I had no radial pulse. My arm was hurting for a week, but it was fun. You know what I mean? So get some practice with one. Buy a cheap one just for practice. Don't buy a cheap one to use on people, but you can buy a cheap one like a knockoff and use it for training purposes, just so you get used to it, and then get yourself a regular, you know, cat or a regular soft TW. So these are awesome. A lot of metal construction in this. For the windlass is metal, the clip is metal. That's why I like it. So check these out. They're about 30 bucks. Now, if you don't want to spend 30 bucks on a tourniquet, you can get a compression strap, right? Which will also occlude blood. This is H&H Medical TK4L compression strap. It's got an S-hook on one side and a carabiner on the other, and you just basically you put it through, hook it through the carabiner, you pull it tight, and go around and around and around, and then take the S-hook and clip it in. It will occlude blood flow, not as fast as a windlass, but it will still occlude blood flow. More cost effective, about 10 bucks. And you can have this with you. It takes up very little space. I freaking rubber band everything. You know what I mean? So it takes up less space, so there's not, you know, plastic sticking out. And yeah, these are like 9-10 bucks. Got this on eBay. It's also on rescueessentials.com. So these are the things you should probably put in your trauma kit if you want it to be a trauma kit. So real quick, go over them again. You need some form of trauma shear, not Leatherman Raptors. You need tourniquets, some form of tourniquets, whether it be a compression strap or a windlass. The windlass actually will occlude blood flow faster, but, you know, cost effective. You don't have a lot of money for 30 bucks as opposed to 10 bucks. TK4L, but there's other forms of compression straps out there too, like the Slishman Pressures wrap, which is on rescueessentials.com. So, gotta have that. Compressed gauze. You're gonna need compressed gauze, whether it be something with a hemorrhagic agent in it, like Quick Clot Ems Gauze, or just regular good old compressed gauze by H&H Medical. But you're going to need some kind of gauze that you can use to pack the wound if you need to. So there's that. Also, you should have some form of compression bandage, whether it be a Dyna Stopper or an Idf Pad, which is a trauma pad, Israeli pad, or a, you know, Israeli bandage 4-inch or an Israeli bandage 6-inch, or there's other ones. Like I said, there's a blast bandage for larger wounds, so you could use those. So yeah, you got to have some kind of compression bandage with you. There's a ton of them. There's H&H bandages, there's Israeli bandages, there's Tactical Medical Solutions bandages, but always good to have those with you as well. So throw those in your kit as well. Now you need breathing management, airway management. So OPAs or NPA. I would say go with an NPA because you never know, somebody's going to have a gag reflex and they're going to puke all over you if you put this down their throat. So NPAs are good and they're not very expensive. OPAs come as a whole kit, which is good. It has infant, child, adult small, adult medium, adult large, and adult extra large. So, you know, whatever. These are cool. They're really easy to use. Just put it in the mouth. This is just as easy. It goes up to the nostril. So either way. But get an NPA or an OPA kit for airway management. And then last but not least, some form of pneumothorax, tension pneumothorax protection, which is hyphen vent chest seals, or something like the wound seal kit by H&H. So again, there's tons of different chest seals. North American Rescue makes them. H&H Medical makes the wound seal kit. They also make Bolin chest seals. Tactical Medical Solutions makes chest seals. Everybody does. So just get chest seal that you think you're going to need. You can get petroleum gauze if you don't have a lot of money. That's pretty cheap. And some tape it. You can make a vented chest seal. So this is about 20. This is about 20. They're all about that. And the only thing that's super cheap is the gauze, the petroleum gauze. So get some kind of a chest seal for tension pneumothorax to prevent it, and also for pneumothorax, which is collapse lung. So that's just you know, some of the stuff that's really needed. I think that's the most important stuff that you should have with you in case of a traumatic event, whether it be a bleeding event or somebody's not breathing, you know, or somebody gets a chest wound, or, you know, you got to stop major bleeding. So that's all really good stuff. But again, you can have all this stuff and no training and you won't know how to use it, and then it's useless. So make sure you get yourself some kind of training, whether it be a stop to bleed class or whether it be a first aid class or an advanced first aid class. You know, do that and you'll have all that knowledge, and then you can get all the stuff that you need, and hopefully you never have to use it. But if you do have to use it, at least you'll know how to do so. So remember, always be proactive, never be reactive. You guys have a good one.